everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Harp at Home, and my goodness, we're on Workshop 7, which means after today, there's only one more of this series. I swear, this series has really flown by, but it's been a pleasure having you all again. Thank you for learning the Harp at Home suite. We have just finished that last workshop, so we're back to kind of just learning well, not random tunes, but tunes I like, if you know what I mean, that I didn't write. So with the Harp at Home suite, I am going to do at the end, so we have today's workshop and one more workshop remaining. I am going to do a kind of extra little add-on workshop, which will be very brief, which will just take you through playing the Harp at Home suite. I guess I'm giving you time to practice it, and the kind of like join up bits about it. I'm going to just kind of take you through how to kind of work that effectively, I guess. So you've got that to look out for. Thank you all for kind of tuning in so far. I've been on it used to all kind of subscribe on the YouTube channel, which has been great, and to subscribe to the Harp at Home workshop. If you would all also kind of fancy subscribing to my own personal Rachel Hare newsletter, that'd be really good because I've got some pretty cool, amazing things about to kick off, and I need your help with them all. I will start talking about that in the blether section for sure. So do sign up to that at rachelhare.com. It's right at the bottom. And because I've been meaning to send out a newsletter for ages and I still haven't done it. But I'm gonna do it. So today we are gonna learn an Irish tune. I've not taught you all an Irish tune yet, so I'm quite excited about this. As many of you know, I live in Glasgow and I'm originally from the Highlands, so a lot of the music that I play is Scottish, obviously, and Highland music. That's where a lot of my influences are. But since living in Glasgow for goodness a long time now, actually, 20 years almost since I came to university, Glasgow is a very musical city, and a lot of the folk music that happens here is Irish music. So since moving here, I've learned a lot of Irish tunes, and I've become quite involved in the kind of Irish music community, both through the learning community and through just kind of playing the tunes at the pubs. And I've got a lot of friends whose music, you know, who've lived in Scotland all their life, but the music they play is all Irish. So we're going to have a wee chat, first of all, to one of those pals. We're going to get the fantastic box player, Paddy Callaghan, on Zoom. So yeah, let's ring him up now and we'll have a chat, and hopefully he'll play us a wee tune as well. So for today's Harp at Home workshop, we have the wonderful Paddy Callaghan beaming in from somewhere over there, I think.
How's it going down there?
Hi, the rest end's fine. Like you're kind of like northeast, is that right? Where you would describe where you are, or north of Glasgow? I don't know.
Northeast, yeah, that's probably about right, yeah.
Yeah. And Paddy, you're a box player, so I mean, you mainly play. Well, you play Irish music as your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I was brought up in Glasgow and was taken along to classes with the organisation Cultus when I was 4. And my older sisters had kind of gone there all their days, and it was just inevitable that I would sort of fall into that organisation, and I mean, started playing the tin whistle and then very quickly moved on to the box and kind of never looked back from there.
Yeah, because I mean, Irish music is huge in Glasgow. Like, I mean, I always knew it was, but I think I kind of led a bit of a kind of sheltered upbringing in the kind of northwest Highlands of Scotland, where I thought Scottish music was just all there was, and then arrived in Glasgow to uni, and it was like there was this whole other crowd of youngsters playing trad music that wasn't Struff Spades and 2/4s, and it was all you guys.
Absolutely. I guess it's to do with the makeup of the city. So Glasgow's like been a city that's been, you know, modelled by huge immigration over the years from many different cultures, and you know, each community that's come in and settled into Glasgow's kind of left their mark, and I suppose this would be a legacy of the Irish community and their mass immigration into Glasgow.
Yeah, because you get a lot of, I mean, even just kind of second names in Glasgow's. Well, you're Callahan, and you know, there's Doherty's and yeah, Murphy's and all that kind of. It's really, there still is a huge big Irish community in Glasgow, isn't there?
Absolutely massive, yeah. I mean, I think if you were to look at the official percentage statistics, it's roughly about 15, 16%. But
Yeah.
I think we all know it's probably quite a bit higher than that.
Yeah. Well, even I mean, even my second name, like I'm Hare. Like my father's from Glasgow, and they would have originally been O'Hares and dropped the O and changed the
Of
spelling.
course, yeah.
Although there's, we've kind of lost that kind of contact in our family. There's a lot of roots, and I mean, Irish music. You've got so you kind of work for Cultus, don't you? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So, as I say, it's the organisation where I grew up playing music from, and about 9 years ago, it's kind of scary
Uh-huh.
when you think about that. There was a post looking for a full time at the time development worker, then became project officer, and I was lucky enough to be chosen to fulfil that role, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, because I mean the youngsters that are coming out of the Irish music scene in Glasgow, because there's three branches, isn't there, of Cultus?
There's four in the kind of
What?
wider, yeah. So Glasgow and surrounds, there's four. So the kind of biggest and oldest one would be the Irish Minstrels.
Mhm.
They've been on the go since 1957, and then the next one that we formed was out in kind of Carfin, New Stevenson direction, called Johnny Doherty.
Mhm.
And then, quite a long time ago now, they're actually about to celebrate a big anniversary, St James the Great, CC in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And then in the last kind of 20 years, out in Coatbridge as well, St Patrick's CC. So there's four on the go.
Oh, of course. You see, I've always just I had it in my head that there was three. I didn't realise St. Pat's and yeah, Johnny Doherty's. I kind of had them in the same kind of like group.
The Lanarkshire ones, yeah, North
The
Lanarkshire
Lannister ones,
direction, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Like I taught for a number of years for St James the Great out in the kind of Pollock area, and was just amazed at the youngsters. Like I think my first ever time that I kind of got dragged along there to ask if I could be the harp teacher, and they were having the class competition where everyone just played a tune or two, and the judge had like couldn't make it, so they were like, Rachel, could you judge it? And I was like, okay, this is a bit for baptism. And they were like, don't worry, we'll just tell you, we'll nudge you to say who should win. And I was like, okay. And the overall class winner was Mawson Namini, who was like about 13, 14 years age at the time, and he went, of course, on to win the Scots Trad Musician of the Year and plays in Emar. So yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
the fact that he won that, and yourself as well, you won that competition a number of years ago, didn't you? The Scottish Trad.
Yeah, a good few years ago now. I think it was 8 years ago now. It's like, I wonder how long you can get away with that being on the CV before it's like, you might need to come up with something else. But yeah, and also Benedict Morris, again,
What?
another musician who would be
Yeah,
from the kind of wider Irish music scene.
yeah,
So it's quite a lot when you think about it, over in the last 8 years, for three people from that
yeah.
background to
I-
win such a prestigious competition in Scottish music.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to kind of it's been recognised as a kind of music kind of subgenre almost of trad music that's happening in Scotland that's kind of been given that nod.
Yeah, for me, like, uh, people tend to refer to it as the Glasgow Irish scene, and that's really what it is. It's not really Irish. Well, it is Irish music. It's
Mhm.
definitely founded in Irish music, but it's a different take on Irish music than you would get in Ireland, and it's very much reflective of the geography that's here, and it's got influences of Scottish music, influences of so many different things going on, and I think it's great that it is such a valued part of the wider traditional music scene, and it is valued. It has a kind of equal footing amongst everyone, and I think that's great to see.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's box you play yourself, but you do a bit of harp as well, do you not now, Paddy?
I do. It's probably fair to say did more than do. But yeah, I would have started playing the harp, I think, when I've been about 10,
Yeah.
and would have played quite a lot, and to be fair, still do. The harp would be my go-to instrument if I'm, in the house and I've got a few. You yearn to play a few tunes,
Yeah.
and for me, it would be a case of going and picking up the harp and playing tunes. It's one of those things, though, I have absolutely no confidence in whatsoever. It's such an exposed instrument. Like, whenever you're playing the accordion, you've got a massive chunk of wood
Mhm.
sitting between your hands, and there's a big kind of bulky, solid thing there. And even for the concertina, it's a similar idea. Whereas when you're playing the harp, your hands are kind of dangling in midair, and you've got 34 strings that you're either going to get to touch in the right one or not. It's a much
Interesting.
more exposed kind of
Yeah.
kind of thing, and whenever you're feeling a bit tight on the box, you know, you kind of grip in. You can't do that in the harp. You've kind of got to let it flow, and that's where
Yeah.
it falls apart for me. I'm the only person that's managed to get vibrato on a harp just from this
Paddy.
scenario. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard. Did you not do some kind of recording? I think I've heard a recording of you play harp. I've never actually heard you in person. We'll have to get a tune when we're legally
Mm.
allowed, maybe.
Possibly. It's one of those things that I'll happily play like till the cows come home if no
Yeah.
one's there, and you know, knock out loads of tunes, and you
Mhm.
know, decent enough standard. But as soon as there's an audience, oh, that's a different ballgame.
But that's important to have something that you can, because I guess I kind of sometimes, for me as a musician, I love playing the harp, but it is my job as well sometimes, and there's a little bit of pressure that comes with that. To have a second instrument that you can just kind of have purely for enjoyment is really
Yeah,
such a pleasure.
escapism is brilliant, and it is nice. I suppose it is quite personal that way. It is just
Mhm.
something that I like to do, and there's no pressure where you've got to be able to play a certain or have learned something by a certain time, or it's just, you know, it's you can be yourself,
Yeah.
and I think that is important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And listen, what have you been up to over the past year? Because we've sadly not seen you in person, but we've seen you a lot on screen, which has been good. You've been creating lots of entertainment for us during lockdown.
Oh, you know, yeah, it's been a difficult time for everyone, and you know, I'm no exception to that. Like we've all struggled for various
Mhm.
reasons, and you know, I would be a what you would probably call a part-time professional musician, and that I work in the music industry with Cultus, and then my kind of escapism quite a lot is actually going to get to do gigs. For a lot of people, that would be their real job, whereas for me, it's I actually really like doing it, but also quite like that, you know, touring can be quite heavy as well on you, and it's nice to be able to say I'm going to go on that tour and pick and choose the things that you do and then go from there. But you know, there's been no gigging whatsoever, and you know, I've really felt that, as I'm sure so many musicians have. And do you know what, it's amazing what you can do in your own living room if you put your mind to it and get a bit creative, and that's been it. But I have been really conscious that if you're DJing, it's not very visually appealing to sit and watch someone, you know, press buttons and, you know,
So
or
explain
whatever.
to our audience. Now, I have actually told them about your DJing before, but some of them might not have like tuned into my blather before. So what kind of DJ? How do you you are a folk DJ? How do you define it? You've
It's
got a term.
be a trad music DJ. Yeah, it's pretty much all trad that I would work with, and you know, taking influences, you maybe mix some trad tunes with pop tunes, and you know, put kind of drum beats behind what would be otherwise quite mellow tunes, and totally change them. And you know, it's a bit fun, and
Yeah.
I always find, you know, trad musicians love going to parties and going to
Mm.
discos, and it's not that they don't love their own music, it's just that their own music and a lot of times haven't gone to the level where you can dance to it, and
Yeah.
that's it. Of course there are bands who absolutely do that, you know, you've got Meckley, Emarge, your Nightworks, there's loads of bands who do.
Mhm.
But I would love for nothing more than to go to Suck Hill Street, go to the garage, and there's a full-on
Like
trad disco. That to me would be utopia. So, you know, you may as well create your own fun.
that's amazing. Well, we've certainly really enjoyed it when you've had the because yeah, I think we've had you tried discoing in our living room quite a lot over the past year. Kind of we've had the glow sticks out and everything. Kind of I mean, in our PJs half the time because it's usually in the evening, but like booking around and on chat with everyone, and it's just been a great release and hearing what crazy mixes you're coming up with now, or a lot of the time, having said that, my other half here is kind of doing mixes for you, I think. So it's
Exactly, and that's I think that's been really cool as well. Loads of people have been, you know, the inbox has really been quiet. People saying, by the way, here's an idea for something, or
yeah.
else here's something I've been working on myself. What do you think? It's like perfect. That's getting a play. So yeah, it's kind of a subgenre that's actually getting some traction these days, and may well go somewhere.
Totally. Well, I know. I mean, we're just relieved that we've booked you to DJ at our wedding, which is now in a kind of around a year, hopefully. And because
Yeah,
like you might have a few more bookings when things come back to life. I reckon. Kind of
yeah, absolutely.
festivals would be great crack.
I mean, a lot of trad fests at the minute, you know, obviously they're trying to diversify and do things online, which
Yeah.
I think is great. You know, it's important to to still celebrate your culture and still have live music where possible. But for a lot of them, I kind of trad disco's been a fairly safe bet because, you
Yeah.
know, it's easy set up, it's
Yeah.
done, and you know there's not too much fuss. But there's quite a few have already said, look, when we get back to normal, we want that with a room full of people. Like, yep,
That'd be
count me
great.
in.
Good
So
crack, good
yeah,
crack. And so have you got any in the diary coming up that are public, or is it a case of kind of keep your eye out just now?
I do actually.
Oh.
Yeah, one quickly checks diary. I'm doing one next week actually, which is
Amazing.
one with a bit of a difference. In that it's for an organisation called Conradh na Gaeilge, who are the Irish language
Yeah.
organisation for preserving and promoting Irish language in Ireland, and I'm going to be doing one for them as part of their Shopton na Gaeilge festival,
Excellent.
and I'm not a native Irish speaker, it has to be said, so it's going to be an interesting one because, you know, everyone there is going to be expecting lots of Ceol agus crack, and we'll see how that goes.
You'll get used to
So
learning.
that's
Yeah, Ryan Murphy will teach you a few phrases. He's already been helping me
a
out
few
today.
phrases. Yeah, a few
Listen,
phrases in the tank.
yeah,
And then there's one actually the week after, so on Saturday the 13th of
excellent.
March, and that's as part of the Inbox Festival. So
Oh, nice
that's their
one. That big
final
virtual.
weekend of festivals. Yeah,
Nice.
so
Excellent.
yeah,
Well, I will put links to your Facebook page and everything in our in the kind of comments of the videos and in your PDF that you guys are going to hopefully download, and also a link to Paddy's website where they have some fantastic new merch, which you just launched this week. I've ordered myself a sweatshirt. Hopefully, it'll come in time for me wearing next week at the workshop.
yep, lots of merch. I love a bit of merch. Like, why not?
Really? Yeah.
We're still in lockdown, you may as well have a bit of fun.
Exactly. I mean, it's all like hoodies and sweatshirts, man. I'm all about the comfort wear, definitely, for sure.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, thanks, Paddy, for tuning in. You're going to play us a wee tune, I think. So thank you for doing that. And aye, good luck with all the Chad discos and all you're playing for over the next wee while.
Thank you very much, and hope you all have a good time. Cheers.
Yes. It's always good to speak to Paddy. Paddy's become a really kind of close friend of ours, and he really has. He's done a lot of good work for the soul during lockdown with his trad disco. So it's great to hear him chatting about Irish music in Glasgow. And aye, thank you for playing us a tune, Paddy, as well. It's really great. Thank you. So today we are going to learn an Irish barn dance called Bill O'Malley's. Now, This tune, I originally I kind of always kind of knew it, if you know what I mean, but I properly played it, I guess, at the start of lockdown. I'm not sure if you remember. If you remember right back to the start of series 1, you might have heard me talk about in the blether section about this thing called Club 18. This was a thing that Ron, the guitarist who works with me, kind of set up. Club 18 wasn't for 18-year-olds and over, although we all are over 18. Club 18 was for those who all have names beginning with the 18th letter of the alphabet, which is R. So there was a group of us all started doing these collaboration videos, but the rule was your first name had to begin with R. So I was allowed in, Rachel here, then there was Ron Jappy. We had Ryan Murphy from Manran and Emar down the road. Who else do we have? I can't even remember off the top of my head. Oh, Rory McMillan from Blazing Fiddles was in it. And it was good crack. And one of the musicians that joined us was Ryan Young. Ryan is a fantastic fiddle player from Helensburgh, which is kind of right at the edge of the kind of the Firth of Clyde. Beautiful kind of seaside kind of town. Ryan's a stunning player and he's such a lovely lad. He kind of describes his music as between Scottish and Irish. He's very influenced by the playing of Martin Hayes, the County Clare fiddler. And he says that when he plays fiddle in Ireland, they say he sounds Scottish, but when he plays fiddle in Scotland, he sounds Irish. So he's kind of stuck between the two. I joked with him the other day that really he should be from the Isle of Man because that's halfway. But there you go. So it was a tune that he brought to Club 18 called Bill O'Malley's A Barndance, and he learnt it from the playing of Martin O'Hayes, and we gave it a bit of Club 18 kind of treatment, kind of swung it a little bit. So it fits really well in the harp, so I figured it's been on my list to teach you, so figured this was the week to teach you it. So we're gonna learn the tune, and then afterwards you can play it along with me at the fireplace, and I'll give you a playthrough of Club 18. So I'll play it to you now. It's a bonny tune, isn't it? It's a real cracker, this one. I hope you're going to enjoy learning it. I had fun actually kind of arranging it for you. So yeah, it's a sweet wee tune. Remember to tune into the blether section because I've got some really important news to tell you actually. I need your help with something. Let's head over now to the green screen. Green screen time, and time to learn this Irish barn dance called Bill O'Malley. So this tune is in G major. So for my harp, that means I have my F sharps engaged and my harp's in E flat major. So I have F sharps, E, A and B levers on. If your harp's in C major, of course you will only need your F sharp. So this tune is in G major. But just to let you know, as a nice kind of little bit of reference, you're going to be avoiding all the Fs. Okay, so no Fs in your melody or your left hand actually. So I'm going to start off by playing you the melody of the first part. Have a listen and then we'll get to it. Starting off with 3, 2, 1 on those lovely 3 white notes in the middle of the harp, G, A, B. Okay, I'm always looking for patterns. 3 whites in the middle, G, A, B. Have a listen to this. Now I'm playing this tune really quite heavily swung. I guess my arrangement is coming from the arrangement when I learnt it from Ryan for the Club 18 recording. So although traditionally in Ireland it's played a little bit more straighter, we're going to go for the swung kind of version for this. So have a listen. Okay, so we're playing up 3 notes from G. Okay, let's try that together after 4. 3, 4. Go for it again. 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, nice. Now the next bit, there's going to be a few bits where we have 4 fingers on the harp. Now the main version of your music and the version I'm going to teach you now uses our 4th finger. But if you're not so hot on using your 4th finger, have a look at the easier version of the music, because this is what I've put on the fingering, splitting 2-1, 2-1 instead. So I'm going to teach you with 4 fingers just now, but there is another fingering option on the easier version. So we have a G triad with an E on top. So 4th on G, 3rd on B, 2nd on D, and your thumb on that E. Okay, we're going to play up those and straight back down. Have a listen again, I'm going to swing it. Did you hear how that swung? So it's going to kind of go like long, short, long, da-da-da-da. Let's see if we can go for that. I'm going to give you a count of 3 because that G at the start starts on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I'll take it a little bit slower for you again. You ready? 2, 3. Nice. So this is what we have so far. So you're going up 3 from G, placing on all those 4. Again, you can go 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 if you want. Let's see if we can put that together. That makes up our first phrase of our first part. Okay, this tune has a nice structure with repetition in it, you'll be glad to hear. So let's go for all of that. That's our first phrase. After 4. Sorry, counting in's a little bit kind of slow today, sorry. 2, 3, 4. Nice, let's go for it again. 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Have a listen to our second phrase now. So this is very heavily kind of based on G pattern. So pop your fingers on a G triad, thumb on D, 2nd on B, 3rd on G. So 1, 2, 3, going down that G triad. And indeed, you're going to play down that. Okay, after 3, let's try playing down that. So on the beat, these goes. 1, 2, 3. Good, replace your thumb back onto the D and your 3rd back onto the G and play those one after another. So we're going D, G afterwards. Let's add that on. I'm going to count to 3 as you're counting because again, that first note comes on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Nice, go for it again. 1, 2, 3. One more time for good luck. After 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to lead again here with our thumb because we're going to have a B, thumb on B, 2nd on A, or actually your 3rd finger because you're going to do a B and 2 A's. Okay, and I want you to change your finger on that A. So I'm using 1, 2, 3, and that's what's on the music. But I have been known to use instead 1, 3, 2. So you've got a choice, either 2, 3, or 3, 2 on that. Let's just try those 3 B notes after 4. 2, 3, 4. A, A, A. So that whole of that second phrase is down your G triad, then your D G, so that's kind of your open 5th, then B and 2 A's. Yeah? Will we go for that phrase together? I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. So very G chord, down a G triad, down a G 5th, I guess you could word that as being, and then B, A, A. You ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice work. Okay, so our first phrase, if you remember, was up 3 from G, a G triad with an E on top, and your you're straight into that phrase. Okay, so that's how those match up. Let's try going for it together, so you can go from the start. After 4, 2, 3, 4. B and 2 A's. Good. Let's go for it again. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Our third phrase is going to be the same as our first, but we're going to pop an extra D in with our thumb, which leads on into that. Okay, so that's going to go and beat 4, 1. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3 and I want you to play that D and then our third phrase, which is the same as the first. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Nice, we'll go for it again. So D before it and then into that third phrase, which is the same as the first. 2, 3. Excellent work. Okay, so let's try phrases 1, 2, and 3 of that first part. We are nearly done with the first part today. This is good, guys. After 4, from the start. 2, 3, 4. Time together. After 3 or after 4, sorry. 2, 3, 4. D. Nice. You're getting it. Excellent work. Have a listen to our ending phrase. Okay, now remember what I said about avoiding the F, okay? Second on C, or to be honest, you could use your third as well. Thumb on C, I'm going to use my second. We're going to play our A, and then we're going to come down from C to D, but missing out that F that we're avoiding. So I'm going to go down 3, and then down another 3. So we have our A, down C, B, A, 1, 2, 3 fingers, cross over with them onto G, down those 3, and in fact we're going to come straight back up and an extra G at the end. So play your A, down from C, keep going down all the way to the D, replace and come back up to the G, and another G. Did you get that? Let's see if we can go for that together after 3. 1, 2, 3. Cross over to G, down G, E, D, back up again. 2, 3. Nice. So you only have one D at the bottom. So when you get down to that D, replace all your fingers back on and come back up. So you're always connected to the harp at that little bit. Let's go for that phrase again. 1, 2, 3. Nice. We'll go for it again. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, so we have done all of the first part. Your first phrase, remember, was up 3 from G. Then you had your G triad with the E on top, coming up and back down. Second phrase was all the G chords, down a G triad. D, G, B, 2 A's. Then you had an extra D here leading on to your third phrase, which is the same as the first. And that ending that we just did, A, down from C to the D, remember no F's. Okay, so let's see if we can go for all of that. We'll just do it once through and then we'll take a rest and we'll go for it twice. You ready? After 4, 2, 3, 4. And down from C. Good, nice. So when you do it twice in a row, we're going to add in an extra D to lead us back into the first part. So you finish it. I mean, you could, I did a cheeky wee hop there, that's shocking there. What I've put in the music is the fourth finger and then on. But to be honest, if you want to use your third to hop, I'm not going to come after you for that. Okay, I'm breaking my own rules here, hopping fingers, dearie me. Let's go for it twice through. You ready? Starting 3, 2, 1, up from G. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Down G sharp. A, extra D, then we go back again. A and down from C. G, 2, 3, extra D at the end, that's right. I'm going to play on to the second part so you can listen in. You'll recognise some bits. Starting up top on the high G. Remember our rule about avoiding the Fs? This carries on into the second part. G, E, D. So 3 down from G, but of course no F. So that means we're thumb on G, second on E, third on D. Have a listen. We're going to play down those. Then we're going to play our G again. And then we're going to play down them again, but faster. So it's going to go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So down the 3, extra thumb, replace and down the same 3 again. Ready? Let's try it together after 4. After 3, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Go for it again. Replace your fingers after 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. After that, we're going to go down our G triad with the E on top. So that means we're going down E, D, B and G. So down 4. Remember I gave you the options on the easier version if you wanted to do 1, 2, 1, 2. So you have to be careful. You really want to get your thumb onto that E at the end of that bit that we've just done and then place and play. Okay, let's see if we can get that. I'm going to go really slowly for you on this bit. After 3, we're going to put those 2 bits together. 1, 2, 3. Down your 3. Down E, G, E. Yeah, I said the wrong notes there, do you mean? But you get what I mean, yeah? After 3, let's go for it again. 1, 2, 3. Nice. One more time for good luck. Why not? We've got this as the third phrase as well, so it's just giving us practice. 1, 2, 3. Good. Up to those same 3 notes, we're going to go down them again. This is the start of our second phrase. Have a listen. Okay, so I'm going to go down them, then I'm going to play the G again, and then a D at the end. So it's going to go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, let's try it together after 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to cross over, and we're going to have this bit is borrowed from our first part as well. B, A, A. So these new phrases actually in this first bit all end the same way that the phrases did in the first part. So we have B and 2 A's. Remember, 2, 3 or 3, 2 for those 2 A's. So that's going to sound B, A, A. Are you ready? Let's try that after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and B, A, A. Yes, let's go for it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, luck. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant, excellent. Okay, that was our second phrase. Believe it or not, we know all of the second part now. So let's try adding that onto our first phrase. Remember, we went down, extra G, then down, and then connecting on that 4-note part, which was the G triad of the E on top. You ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, new part. B, A, A. Nice. Let's go for that again, but at the end I want you to play your first phrase again, because the third phrase is the same as the first. Okay, let's have a go. 1, 2, 3. Second phrase. B, A, straight back up. Good. Let's have another go of that. I'm going to do it a little bit slower. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Guess what our ending is? The same as the first part. Yay! Oh, God bless repetition. Second on A, or third on A to be honest. Down from C, remember we're going all the way back down to the D and up to G, but no F. So down 3, cross your thumb over to G, down to the D and back up again. Yeah, let's try that together after 3. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, that's your second part. Let's go for it. We try it. It just goes through straight because remember you've got that G, so there's no extra notes when you do it twice. Let's go for it twice. So down the 3 notes, extra G down, then down the 3, G, D, B, A. Yeah, nice and confident. We'll go for it. Twice through after 3. 1, 2, 3. Up again. Long G at the top here. D, B, A. Ending. 1, 2, 3, and again. Brilliant. Okay, let's go for the full tune. Remember our first part started off up 3 from G. Then you had that G triad of the E pattern on. Down a G triad. Then D, G. B and 2 A's. And then third, same as the first. And you're ending the same as we've just been doing there. Okay, you ready? Let's go for it. Twice through each part after 4. 2, 3, 4. let's give the left hand a go. I'm going to play you what we have for the first part. Now my kind of arrangement for this with the left hand, I guess it's just what I would kind of typically do for a tune like this. It's not trying to be uber fancy or kind of like, fancy pants at all. Like, it's just kind of nice, kind of vibey, kind of to go with the swing of it. I'll give you a wee play of it now. Starting off with a nice we're kind of got this kind of G kind of vibey kind of going on, always keeping this G constant. We're gonna have a G octave, and then we're gonna hop up to a G and an A, so that's a G2 a second, and then a G and a B, so our thumb is on the B now. See how we're always kind of using our second finger on the G there, and then opening up to a G fifth. So we've got a G octave, then middle of the harp, G and A, G and B, and then a G fifth. So our G octave comes with the first note, our G and our A comes with the A. Let's see if we can get those three notes in, or those two bits of the left hand in with the first two notes. After 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We'll go for that again together. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Our next G third comes with the first note as we're going up that pattern. Now we're going to have the G third is going to come with the first note, and the next time you play that G, which is the last note of that pattern as well, you're going to have the G fifth. So G third at the start, G fifth at the end. Let's see if we can just try that phrase together. After 3, 1, 2, 3. So third. Fifth. Go for it again after 3. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Let's put that together with the G octave, the G and the A as well. After 4, 2, 3, 4. Nice. We'll go for it again. 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Have a listen to what we've got going on in the next part. We're going to have using G octaves, D and a D octave. Okay, so a little bit more kind of on the beat, but not necessarily in the strong beats all the time. So G octave is going to split. Now you're going down your G triad. The G octave is going to come with the B and the G. So it's going to go together, together. We try that. So G octave and G triad. I'm going to count to 3. That's going to go on beat 4, and then you're going to have your left hand comes in. So left hand with the second and the third note of this triad. 2, 3. Yeah, let's try that shape again. 2, 3. Lovely. You're going to have an extra D, so the D right beside middle C with the next time you play your G, which is when you're doing your G fifth. Okay, let's add that in. 2, 3. Nice. One more time. 2, 3. Excellent. Now you have your B and your 2 A's. When you play your A's, you're going to have a D octave. So right in the middle of the harp there. Let's try that after 4, 3, 4. Good. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Lovely. So that's our second phrase. We had the G octave split, D with the G, so you're right up close there. D octave with the A's. You ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Great. Let's put that together with what we've got so far. So G octave, G and A, G and B, and G and D. You ready? 2, 3, 4. Good. So third phrase, well, the melody is the same. I'm gonna trick you out a little bit by changing the left hand for this bit. So we're gonna have the same rhythm. So that means the left hand comes in the same place as it did before, but we've got different chords. But don't worry, they're not tricky chords. They're going to be octaves, but this is a good chance to kind of practice your flat hand damping. We did a workshop of this in series 2. Do look that up, the damping workshop. If you just search Harp at Home damping on YouTube, you should be able to find that. Yeah, so when we're doing our flat hand, consider it damping, so that we're stopping the octave before the next one. So we're going to have 4 octaves. We're going to have E, D, C, and then B. So you're going down E, D, C, B. And that means they're going to come in the same time. So we've got our extra D there. So our E and our D are going to come with the G and the A, the first 2 notes. Yeah, let's try that together. After, I'm going to count to 3 because you've got that D in, remember, on beat 4. 2, 3. Good. Now for your shape. With the first note, the first time you play that G, you've got a C octave. And then a B at the last bit of it. Let's try that together. 2, 3. Excellent. Let's see if we can get all that. So E and D with the first 2 notes, C with the first note of that pattern, B with the last note of it. You ready? 2, 3. Let's try that slower. You can tell I've had coffee just before this. I'm going fast today, I tell you. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Our ending phrase. Okay, we're going to keep this the same for both parts. The ending phrase, you'll be relieved to hear. We're going to have a C octave, a D7, and stay in the D7. Sorry, I played a D octave there, but a C octave. Keep your thumb on that C. 4th onto D. And it's going to go like this. So this ends up being a beats 1 and 3. So it's going to come the C octave with the B. Can we just try getting that C octave in with the B? After 3. 1, 2, 3. D7 now is going to come with the E. Okay, so practice that. C with the B, D7 with the E. Okay, so C octave and a D and a C. You ready? 2, 3. And we're going to throw another D7 in between the 2 Gs. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get that in now. That little 4th phrase together. 2, 3. Excellent. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So let's see if we can get that 3rd and 4th phrase together. So you've got E, D, then C and B, and then you're to your C, D7, another D7. So this is a good chance to be practicing that considerate damping. Let's try that. 3 and 4 together. 1, 2, 3. Yes, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, can you put it with your first and your second phrase? Remember you had your G, G second, G third, then G split, random D there, and D octaves. Yeah? Let's see if we can go for it. We'll try it twice through. Remember, you've got your 4th as well before you do that bit. You ready? After, on the repeat, yeah. After 4, up G, A, B. 2, 3, 4. Excellent, well done. Okay, have a listen to what's going to have be going on for the second part. So it changes in the second time round, but it's some minimal change, folks. Don't you nothing to worry about this bit for. So. Okay, so we're going to be moving into the relative minor. So this tune's in G major. So if you substitute G's for E minors, that will immediately kind of make it sound a little bit more kind of moody. So we're going to have an E octave, and we're going to be moving up to an E third. So E octave right in the middle of the harp, and then an E and a G with 2 and 1 just above it. Okay, so you're kind of going into treble clef. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, so that E octave is going to come with the E in the first E. When you come down those 3 notes for the second time, so that means your second G in the row up there, that's when your E third comes. Let's see if we can go for that. After 3. 1, 2, 3. E with the E. E third with that G. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. On the way down here in the last note, you're going to have a D octave. So when you're coming down that phrase, so it's really the last note of the phrase, actually, you're going to have a D octave. Let's see if we can pop that in, because this phrase is going to come back again and again. 1, 2, 3. D. Nice. Go for it again. Again, I'm doing the flat hand, so I'm damping to kill that E as before I play that D. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. One more time for good luck. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now we're going to go right next door. We're going to split a C octave, which is going to come with the E and the D here. Okay, and we'll try that together. So it's going to come with the second and third notes, so the E and the D. Splitting it. 1, 2, 3. Good, let's go for it again. 1, 2, 3. And then the same as we have for our B, A in our first part, we're going to have a D octave with the A's. Okay, let's see if we can add that D octave then. So we're going from the C split bit. 1, 2, 3. D's with the A. Nice. We'll go for it again. 1, 2, 3. D with the A's. Brilliant. Let's put that with our first phrase, and in fact, let's see if we can put it with the third phrase, because the third phrase is exactly the same left hand as the first. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. C split. D octave. Back to your E. Brilliant. Do you know what's coming? Same left hand for our ending here. So we're going to have a C with the B. D7 with the E. And another D7 between the G's. Let's see if we can get that going. Let's just try that that final phrase in isolation after 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, so loads of repetition in this arrangement. Hope you like it because of that. Let's go round that. You ready? So that's our first time round the second part. After 3. 1, 2, 3. D octave, good C split. D octave with the A, back to your E's. Same ending. Good. Let's go for that again. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Good, okay, so the repeat, we're going to do phrases 1 and 2 the same. Let's go for it. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, have a listen to what happens now. Okay, so we're going to substitute in, instead of doing the E again, we're going to instead do an A octave and a B octave. Okay, that's the only thing, okay? So instead of going E octave, E third, and the D octave, we're only now going to do an A and a B. So the A is going to come with the E. So that was where your E octave came, so A for apple. With the second G at the top here, a B octave. Let's see if we can get that after 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's go for it again, and we're going to play into our ending. But at the ending, if you're going to actually fully finish a tune, instead of doing another D7 at the end, between the G's, do a G octave. Okay, if I was repeating the tune, I would keep to the D7, but if I was actually finishing it, I'd do a G octave, okay, because it just resolves it. So let's try it with the G octave. So we're going to do that new bit with the A and the B. After 3. 1, 2, 3. B now. Ending. So C with the B, D7 with the E, and a G between the G's. Yeah, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. And G. Nice one. Okay, let's try the whole for the second part, yeah? E's. After 3. 1, 2, 3. D octave with the G. Split your C. D octave. To the A now. Nice work. Okay, brilliant. That's all your left hand. So remember your first part, we had your G octave, G and A, G and B, and G and D. So, and then you split your G, random D, and D octave. Then you substituted in E down to B. Ending was same as before. Okay, sweet. Will we go for the full tune? Yeah, let's go for it. After 4. I can't even count today, did we? 2, 3, 4. Perfect, nice one, guys. So, I'm gonna get 2 different versions for you to play along with, actually. I'm gonna go back to the fireplace and you can join in with the version that I played earlier, which is this full arrangement. And then I'm gonna play you the version, well, the when I kind of like started playing it along with Ryan Young as part of the Club 18 video, because you'll certainly be able to play along with the melody, so it might give you it's quite fun to play along with it. It's really nicely heavily swung. And stay on for the blether. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that one. Let's give it another play in front of the fireplace. There you go, a nice sweet Irish barn dance for you. Hope you enjoyed playing that along with Club 18. So as I said, Club 18 was a kind of lockdown project that Ron, who plays guitar with me, had, and fair play to Ron. He has had epic lockdown projects. He managed to finish his first solo album, his debut solo album called Funicular, and he's actually going to be live streaming an album launch of it on the 13th of March. It's going to be a great event. It's really, the album kind of like, Ron's multi-talented, and he's, you know, he gets a lot of work as an accompanist, and yeah, he's managed to put an album together kind of showing all the roles and all the things that he can do. So it's well worth looking into, and it's certainly worth considering popping into the gig. Now, it's donations for entry. I think the minimum donation is £1, so honestly, it's well worth popping in. It's going to be live streamed from a place here in Glasgow. Kind of, there's a couple of these places that have been springing up where they're kind of working together, bringing, you know, sound and light technicians and kind of video production folk, all the folk who would normally be out, you know, at gigs with us, who haven't got gigs. So they've kind of clubbed together to put these kind of warehouses to use, and yeah, getting to do gigs at them. So fair play to Ron. So do check that out. I'm going to put the link in the comments and it will be on your PDF. So do check that out. And it's been a bit of a busy week, to be honest. Lots of things going on. I hope you enjoyed the chat with Paddy. Do check out his website, and he has his awesome merch for sale just now. I've ordered a sweatshirt. I was a bit gutted it didn't come this morning. I kind of held out. I was like, oh, hopefully it'll come before Paddy's chat. hopefully it'll be here for next week. I promise I'll wear it next week if it does arrive. I'm into my merch just now, actually. I've got a nice mug here, Moon Over the Cheese Music and Theatre Productions. Do you remember this podcast? Maureen's podcast. I spoke about it on one of the other series. She sent me this and a lovely t-shirt, actually, so huge shout out to Maureen, and I thank you for having me on the podcast and for sending me this mug. It's a great mug. It's one of those kind of gardening camping ones, which I like because it just really, it makes your hands nice and cozy. So thank you, Maureen. Well worth checking out her podcast. She's had lots of great harp players on talking. And actually, speaking of podcasts, I'm on another podcast called the Harp Chakra, which is going to be out soon. I will pop the link in the comments as well, and you can check that out. So 2 harp podcasts for you to check out this week. And I will also put a link, hopefully, to again, if you fancy seeing me on the Reflections at the Quay. Apparently, me and Adam are on tomorrow morning. It's been another good week of TV work, actually. So I got a call from them saying that they were going to be putting us out. It was a track that we recorded in the summer, beautiful track called Durad, which is a tune from the Isle of Man by my good friend Katie Lawrence. It's in my Classic Red Book Volume 2 if you fancy learning it. I'll put a link to the recording. They said it would be out. It doesn't. It says it's actually going to be someone else on the schedule, but I kind of tend to trust BBC staff when they phone you up and ask you, over the call, how to spell things, because it has to go out and they need to know really fast. I tend to obey that more than the BBC website. So that should be out. But I actually had a really good day yesterday at the BBC again, filming and accompanying one of my students, a young Gaelic singer called Shona Brown, and we were asked to take part in the Alleluia series for BBC Alba, which is the Gaelic TV channel, and we had to record 2 hymns. We did Morning is Broken and Love Divine, Charles Wesley's version, and yeah, it was really nice. It was lovely. It was so lovely to see her and to accompany her, and it was great because I think it's my 4th time filming at the BBC in the last year, and the 5th time I've been in there. It's quite funny. I've been in there more than the workers, to be honest. One of my pals, her husband, has a 9-to-5 job at the BBC, and I bumped into them the other day and he was like, "You've actually been at my work more than I have in the past year." And that's a bit insane. But it was lovely to be back there, and I knew the floor staff because I'd worked with them before, and the producer, the director guy who was up in the gallery, he came down, a guy called Donald who I've worked with before now, so it's nice to be known around there. It's nice that they're using Clarsach this past year. So yeah, it's good to have the work, and really been enjoying the TV work. I get a great buzz out of doing it well, if you know what I mean. We did our little 2nd hymn in 1 take, and it was like, yes. And it's really, you get a really good adrenaline buzz when it's like success. So that was really good. So yeah, that was good fun. So that was yesterday's day, and then what else have I been doing? I kind of got back and then had a big Zoom meeting about a very special project that's coming up. Now, this is why I was all on at you to sign up to my own personal newsletter, although I think I will tell you about it in the Harp at Home one as well. Myself and the wonderful Manx Gaelic singer Ruth Keggin are going to be doing an album together. We've managed to get a insulancy little bit of funding from the Isle of Man Arts Council, which will help with a bit of the recording. But of course, it's not just the recording which costs to make an album. You've got a producer and mixing and mastering, which is very expensive actually. Manufacture, marketing, design, all that stuff. So we have been really lucky to be accepted by a kind of joint project with Create Scotland, which is Scotland's Arts Council and Crowdfunder. Now, I know many of you aren't maybe so keen on crowdfunding. I've not been that keen on it either, but I feel that this one is really good because it's for us, it's a new project. I wouldn't feel right about crowdfunding for one of my own albums, like with Ron and stuff, because that's kind of got longevity there. I kind of feel, it'd be like 5th or 6th album there, but it's a new project with Ruth. And this crowdfunder with Create Scotland is great. They kind of, as soon as you get to £1,000, they will match fund you for £1,000. So say if somebody gives you £15, that means you're getting 30 quid, which is really pretty good. And then, so there's 20 projects have been chosen for that, and we're all guaranteed to get match funding of £1,000. But then the remaining prize pot is kind of a race to get to the next milestones. I think the next milestone is like 2,000, then 2,500, and they'll match fund again. So it's quite competitive. It's really bizarre. So it's not only about getting to your total, but it's getting to your total fast. So this is where I really need you guys. Hopefully you'll get on board and you'll fancy supporting us. We had a meeting and we kind of worked out what we think our rewards will be. So it's going to be an album of Manx song and harp playing. It's going to be what I would kind of describe as kind of like being a beautiful album. Like, quite often when I do my solo stuff with Ron, I'm all about kind of like showing that the harp can, like, you know, be kind of like as fast and kind of as vibrant and lively as kind of a band being led by a fiddle player and stuff. But with Ruth's stuff, it's just like, she's such a beautiful voice and I just love accompanying her. So we're kind of going for that beautiful kind of sound. So we're going to have, like, obviously you're going to be able to buy have rewards with the album. So it's kind of pre-order, but you pay a bit extra and you'll get it in plenty of time. We'll be offering lessons with ourselves. So that's whether it's like a harp lesson or a Manx song lesson or a Manx language lesson, even with Ruth. And what else are we doing? Ruth also does a lot of calligraphy, so she's going to offer to write out the lyrics of one of the Manx songs. And I am going to offer, if you live in the UK, fortunately not possible for the rest of the world because it might get impounded, to make Scottish tablet. Now, I am quite the expert at this. It's the one thing I can make or bake or cook is Scottish tablet. Scottish tablet is amazing. It's kind of like fudge. It's extra sugary fudge. It's so good. And I use my granny's recipe and man, I kick ass at making it. I have to say, I'm so good. So good that even Showcase Scotland, who are the kind of big kind of expo kind of like thing for Scottish folk musicians, they promote folk music for us throughout the world, literally. They got me to make loads of tablet for them in January to send out as part of this kind of showcase thing. So it is known throughout the world, I swear. The kind of folk scene in Scotland, my tablet is known. So yeah, that's going to be one of the rewards. And so yeah, I really hope you'll be able to support us with that. So I'm actually going to go live until the 22nd of March. So it's quite a bit of time off. It's actually, that'll be after the Harp at Home finishes as well. So, but yeah, I hope you can help support us with that. Yeah, we are planning, obviously there's the issue that Ruth is in the Isle of Man and I'm here in Scotland. The Isle of Man was on lockdown, then they weren't on lockdown, and about 3 hours ago they kind of went back down to voluntary lockdown. It's looking a bit shaky over there. We are planning to record in August. The rumours are that the borders will open in late May. That's what the government has been saying. I think because the vaccine rollout is going really pretty well in the UK. Can't believe it that we're actually getting something right just now in this pandemic. Like, things are moving fast. Like, our friends are starting to get blue letters. We get a blue envelope through the door telling us when our appointment is. So our pals who are kind of like late 30s, early 40s who have health conditions like asthma, serious asthma and stuff, have been getting letters. That's been really exciting. So that kind of started yesterday and today. People put it on Facebook now when they get their blue envelope. So the fact that that is going well, I think it's making the likelihood of the border being opened up to family and friends, which we come under because of Adam's family. So we're planning to record in August over on the island, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be good. And we're really excited. We're kind of doing a lot of long distance work for it. And it's a challenge, but it's good to have a challenge. It's good to be creative as well. And it's nice to be working with someone like Ruth. She's very driven, she's very organised, which I love. Like, I like my lists and my bullet points. Ruth does too. We had our call the other night and I had to end the call because I had to do a recording very quickly for a student who asked for it, and by the end of the recording she'd done an email with all the bullet points and I was like, yes, girl after my own heart, I tell you. So, listen, I'm babbling on. Trying to say if there's anything else I mean to tell you about. Oh, the Harp Gathering. The Harp Gathering, which was one of the festivals in America I was booked to go out to teach at last year. I was supposed to be in America 4 times last year to teach. Or was it 3 times? I can't remember. A lot. Anyway, I was going to be teaching at like 4 or 5 festivals. The Harp Gathering is in Ohio in May, and I did a workshop for them that I recorded for them last year in the summer, or maybe it was in the Easter actually, nearly a year ago. They finally put that online, so if you fancy having a look at that, I will put it in the comments. So it's another free to view workshop. So although you're only getting, I figure you're only getting 1 tune in your PDF this week, you've kind of got another opportunity for learning with me this week because of the Harp Gathering. So yeah, it's a cracking tune that I taught them actually. And you get a tour. Oh, this is the best bit of it. You get a tour around my tenement flat, because I figured, like, when I've had folk from America, quite often if harpists are in Scotland on holiday from America, they'll get in contact with me and come round for a lesson because they want to learn from a Scottish harpist, and they are always amazed by our tenement flat and by our close. So yeah, you get a little bit of a tour around our close and tenement flat. So that will be so boring for somebody if you're a harp player that lives in Glasgow or Edinburgh, but if you maybe aren't, you might be interested in that. So I'll put it in the links. Yeah, and you can watch that. It's a little bit kind of like a fun thing as part of the workshop. So aye, listen, take care. Last workshop next week. We're actually going to have Ruth on, and I'm going to ask Ruth if she wants to have a wee chat with us, and we're going to do a tune from the Isle of Man. So yeah, as ever, I'm going to carry on drinking my tea. Take care this week, look after yourselves, and we'll see you next week for the final workshop of Series 3. Cheers.